So again, welcome to job order contracting. What is considered an immediate response contract? Training huddle number 11. Today is August 27th, 2021. Just in case you're in the wrong Zoom meeting, this is where you're at today. You can stay and listen to if you'd like, if you're in the wrong, because we're a fun group, especially those guys wearing their Hawaiian shirts today. This presentation is brought to you by Construction Services at CPDC, Office of the Chancellor. Just taking a quick look at our agenda. Of course, I'm Jeremy, your host. I'll be welcoming you, talking to you about housekeeping. So please mute yourself if you're not going to be speaking, so there's no ancillary noise, because we are recording this for folks that couldn't make it today. Additionally, I'm going to talk to you about all the great new JOC contracts that we have available on the regional level for the northern and southern campuses. I'll talk to you about kind of the basics of immediate response phases and what the general conditions say about immediate response contracts. Then I'll turn it over to John and Robin. They're with ATI. They'll be talking about how ATI can help the northern campuses with their JOC immediate response needs. Then I'll hand it over to Randy and Sean at Pub to talk about what they can provide for the southern campus immediate response needs. Then Lou will close us down with the CTC line items and a couple of just best practices to use while you're doing immediate response contracts. And of course, the most important of the part of our show here is the questions and answers. That's where I need campuses to come in and ask questions. Maybe you've had problems with line items, with contractors, whatever it may be. Please let us know. Your case studies, the issues that you talk about could help other campuses too. It's, as Kevin Laut calls it, it's the honeybee approach, where we can all kind of help each other out. So without further ado, let's get going. So guys, I got a bunch of regional JOC contracts out on the street right now. You've got everything from immediate response to we'll be issuing JOC roofing contracts next month. So that'll be pretty exciting. As you can see, the menu is pretty strong here. I'll drop as soon as everybody gets started. I'll drop in the chat there a link to where you can access all of these contracts, notice to proceeds, and contact information for these contractors. But as you can see, we've got a lot of contracts this year for the northern and southern campuses to use. So Gordian actually gave this to me about a year ago. John Kilby, I think you gave this to me. I think this looks like one of your slides. About the immediate response phases. So let's just go through this really quick. So phase one, the contractor should address the emergency to the point where the emergency is no longer an immediate threat to life or property. The immediate response contractor would then generate a timely scope of work, price proposal within the Gordian for the work that was completed to address that phase one of the emergency. The contractor shall also report in writing to the CSU daily the actual units of work done during the preceding 24 hours. This is so you can really track down and figure out what exactly happened. Now, phase two is the next phase, where the contractor should then prepare a scope of work within the Gordian to address the remaining repairs, remodeling that is a result of the emergency damage. So, perfect example, last spring, we had a leak right above the chancellor's office, at the office of the chancellor. And the leak was terrible. Actually, it was ATI that came in last spring and helped us repair that leak. But then we also wanted them to come back, remove the drywall, do mold testing and abatement to make sure that there was no mold. We didn't have any mold, but we elected to have them come into phase two and finish the work. Now it's your choice whether or not you want your JOC immediate response contractor to come in on that phase two, or if you just want to go to another contractor or use one of our other contracting methods. So the JOC General Conditions, Section 506E, the review of the job price proposal and issuance of the job order. So this is a picture from one of our campuses. I'm just kidding. I found this online, but this obviously looks like an immediate response issue here. It turns out their sewer pipe exploded, and it actually ended up taking out these two cars and caused quite a bit of damage. So in the event that an immediate emergency response is necessary, the contractor shall be required to conform to the alternative procedures as established by the university. The contractor shall begin work as directed, notwithstanding the absence of a fully developed request for proposal, detailed scope of work, or job order. The contractor shall be compensated in accordance with the construction task catalog and the non-pre-priced tasks as the work had been ordered under the standard process. So just please keep that in mind when you're putting these contracts together. And John, I'm actually going to hand it over to you right now, you and Robin, to talk about ATI.
Okay, great. Thank you. As most people know, that my name is John Kelby. I was with Gordian for 6 years in charge of the CSUs. Recently changed. I joined a new company, ATI. It's the largest family-owned restoration company in the United States. They are looking to expand their JOC program, and it's a very good company to work for, a very, very friendly company. Slide 2, please. So at ATI, our core services, disaster recovery, restoration, reconstruction, asbestos removal, lead removal, mold abatement, biohazard decontamination. We do some construction work, obviously, because we have to with this type of background, but these are our bread and butter points. We perform lots of services, but these are our core. One more, please. We have been in business for 30 years. We have 1,200 plus employees and are growing. We deal with several verticals, which I'll touch base on for just a little bit in just a second. We like to pride ourselves in our 2-hour response time, and we have 21 locations. I have a map coming up here next, but even though we are set, the main office is in Anaheim. We have 21 locations, 8 in California alone that do very well. We'll see the map in the next one. We have over 100. Yep, there we go. So our northern offices range from Los Angeles, San Jose, San Francisco, Sacramento, Sonoma. So that would be able to reach out to the northern campuses: East Bay, San Jose, Maritime, San Francisco, Bakersfield, Sacramento, Chico, Sonoma State. We're right there, people or guys. And so if you need us, I know that there's a Humboldt up there, but they're not on our contract at this point in time. One more slide, please. Gary Moore is our CEO and founder. I just wanted to mention it just for a little bit. He's been in the industry 15 years before he started ATI, and now that's 45. Gary has a strong reputation for high quality work, customer service orientation. I can attest to it. They really try to make sure that customers are taken care of, identify what the problems are, and do everything in our power to make it happen. So hopefully when you're working with myself or a member of our team, if you have any issues as far as people not getting back or not getting proposals timely or anything else, please feel free to contact me or ATI directly, because that's not the image we want to present. One more slide, please. So here's that vertical I was talking about. We do education, higher education, K through 12, residential. We have several government contracts. We deal with the hospitals and the healthcare the facilities, retail. Like I said, we have lots of clients nationwide, and we continue to grow, expand this market. One more, please, Jeremy. So, with the core services that we talked about, we can do water, fire, smoke damage, mold, reconstruction, catastrophe response. We have several CAT trailers, as we like to call them, staged in various points over the United States. Or if there is a large catastrophe, we can literally drag these trailers to where they need to go in a matter of hours to have all our equipment and stuff that's staged, ready to go. So for the campuses, if we have a disaster, especially the northern campuses, we should be able to accommodate you right away. One more. I wanted to put the slide in here because I thought it was pretty cool. Instead of just having a strong crew and customer service related people dedicated to their job, and all the training that we go through at ATI, we have trainings weekly about the new stuff that comes in, new mold, what we're supposed to be looking for. But we also are real high into technology. We really like the technology field and try to go forward with it. Anything from thermal imaging to hydrogen peroxide vapor, ultraviolet lights to, and of course, basics such as moisture meters and so on. But that is one thing that ATI really believes in, is moving forward with the stronger technology and stay updated in the industry, not just riding on our haunches. One more. So to ATI, immediate response, is much like the first slide that Jared to me created, which I thought was a great slide, by the way. Immediate response is when there is when there's a threat to life or structure that needs to be harnessed, corrected, arrested, stopped. Like Jeremy said, then the second phase, once that phase is complete, there is a second phase, but we will come in directly and address that threat without a proposal or without a scope of work. But as soon as we're done with it, we will show you what we did and break it down into the line items and the scope of work that we just accomplished. And if it takes a couple of days, we'll give daily reports of what we accomplished to get that done. Hopefully you use this for the rest of the repairs. That was the damage that was done to the building, but that's how we treat the immediate response. And one more, we put together a JOC team. Robin, hopefully you'll get a chance to talk right after I'm monopolizing this here. Robin and myself, there are several people in the JOC team who are looking to expand it. You can contact us just by joc@atirestoration.com, or the 792-400-4900 is a 24-hour call center where we will dispatch people. Call us in the middle of the night, you find out that you have a water leak or something that's flooding, let us know. I did include Robin's. Robin is our National Business Development Manager. She also handles government services. She'll probably talk about that in a second. That's her contact, and my contact number is below as well. So we're looking forward to assisting anybody that has questions or concerns or needs immediate response. Robin, did you want to talk just a little bit?
Sure. Thanks, John. Just want to mention, I've helped with the Government Services Division from the compliance aspect, similar to what John is also assisting with. So we just try to make sure that all of the details of the contract are followed step by step. So please know that. I know right now top of mind are the Northern Cal wildfires, and obviously the entire state of California is not immune to the wildfire season. So we have a depth of services there. If you're needing air scrubbers in your facilities, HVAC duct cleaning, anything of that nature, we have a team and actually have some team members on the ground staying safe, of course, to assist our clients in those areas. So if there's anything we can do with that aspect to keep the air quality clean in your campuses, please don't hesitate to reach out.
We've done several IR responses already. San Bernardino did a bunch of duct cleaning or fire dampers. San Diego, we've done some mold removal, asbestos. We've done duct cleaning. So like Robin said, we are used to the immediate response. It's nothing new for our company to go after that. That's our bread and butter. Anybody have any questions? Sorry, Jeremy.
No worries. So John, we're actually going to hold all the questions for the end.
Okay.
That way people can jot them down and they can start thinking about them, about any questions they might have for ATI or Pub. So I'm actually going to hand it over to Pub. Sean, are you there, bud?
Hello.
Hey, Sean, how you doing this morning?
Good. How are you?
Good. I want to introduce Pub Construction. There are other immediate response JOC contractor that's located for the southern campuses. So remember, ATI is for the northern campuses. hub is for the southern campuses. So you guys take it away. Let me know when you want me to change slides for you guys.
Hi, everybody, I'm Randy Floyd. I'm the VP of Sales and Marketing. I just really want to cover basically what Hub Construction does in the marketplace and tell you a little bit about ourselves. And Sean will continue with the second half of the presentation and tell you a little about his team and some of our services for you guys on this JOC contract. Go ahead and change the slide. Hub Construct, you could go forward. We've already covered what JOC contract is, what immediate response is. Go through this. And you can also go through this. Next slide. Who is Hub Construction? Hub Construction has been around for the last 20 years. We're a little more of a full service construction company. We have various licenses for all your general building needs. We can do general engineering, general contracting, painting, flooring, tiling. We have a full estimating department on staff that's doing hard bids and general construction work and commercial multifamily. And we also have a lot of government contracts in the JOC world as well throughout Southern California. Our office is in Diamond Bar, and we also have another office in San Diego. So we have Southern California pretty well covered. We have several constructions teams to assist Sean if things need to be, but Sean has a pretty good team that he'll tell you about. Next slide. And next slide. Just wanted to cover a couple projects and things going on in Southern California. Just to let you again, some of our services beyond the emergency services. This is Anacapa. It's one of Irvine Company's portfolio apartments that we're renovating. It's one of our larger, fully remodeled interiors, gutting them out, replacing everything. It's one of our larger customers and projects going on right now. Next slide. Torrey Hills is in San Diego County, and our San Diego team handled that. It's also an Irvine Company work. It's again a remodeled clubhouse, pool area, fireplaces, as you can see out there. So just to let you know, our teams are capable of many different projects within the region. Next slide. We also did the Anaheim Coves is in Anaheim, California. It was a nice park project with a couple miles of biking trails. So again, we can handle civil engineering type projects as well. And we have people on staff to handle those projects and estimate them. Next slide. We've done a lot of work at UCLA over the years, from their apartments, student housing, fitness center, auditorium project, and a student center. So again, we can cover a lot of different areas if needed. I know this contract is just disaster restoration, emergency services, but again, we want to let you know we have a full service company and we'd be more than happy to assist you with any of your other projects. Next slide. And this is up in a little bit farther north in Oxnard College, a hygiene building. So again, a variety of commercial projects, as well as multifamily and colleges. And again, next slide. And this is right here in our backyard at Cal State Fullerton, a roofing project for one of our licenses. Next slide. And these are just a few of the Cal States we've been on contract with and done work for in the Southern California area, down in San Diego. Next slide. And I will turn it over to Sean and his team.
Hi, my name is Sean Chu. I'm the Senior Project Manager for Hub Construction. Cal State JOC team consists of people listed over here. They're assigned to each campus, and we had regional JOC and also a contract with each campuses. And you could contact any one of us and we'll be able to help you out with any project needs. Next slide. So past immediate response projects, we have done some of the immediate response projects. Plumbing is one of them. Any leaks underground, above ground, in the walls. We have a crew set up for those immediate response needs. And also, next slide. Roofing, any leaks to a roof, we could go cover them, but because of the warranty issues, we typically like to look at the documentation before making any repairs to them. So we will cover it first, go through all the documentations and present a solution for you guys. Next slide. Any electrical needs, same thing, we'll be able to take care of. We have crew for all the trades that we are licensed with. Electrical is not part of our license. We don't hold a electrical license. However, we do perform electrical work as well. Next slide. General emergency work. One of the projects that we had was a building, McClare. Car went in through the building, so they gave us a call and said, hey, can we board this up? Right away, we went there and covered everything up and also put a fence on it. We could do any general emergency types and also plumbing work, electrical work, roofing work. Next slide. You could contact me or any of the assigned project managers to your campus for your needs. There's a QR code and you could put your camera on it.
Awesome. Sean, thank you so much. And does that QR code work? Can they just scan it with their phone from
Yeah,
here?
you can scan it with your phone.
Oh, that's great. So guys, don't worry. I'll send out all these slides to all the campuses once we're done. Pub, thank you very much for your presentation. Great work on that. So for now, I'm going to hand it over to Gordian and Dickmeyer to talk to us about the CTC items.
Well, hello, everyone. Just a item of best practices here is these CTC items that I will present, which are in Division 2. This is where your disaster recovery is from. Just remember that these are only for the first phase. And this is the initial cleanup, the initial recovery of the project. And then the build back is taken out of the catalog from the other sections. So just remember that. So with immediate response, the contractor can draw from the disaster recovery section, which is Division 2. And that is only for the emergency portion of the job. The contractor draws from the remainder of the CTC on the build back portion, and they do not get to draw from this section on the build back. Okay, Jeremy, go ahead. So just things to remember with the contract. You know, when conducting an immediate response job order, it's important to remember that the contractor still operates under the rules of JOC contracting. It doesn't preclude them from following the rules of the general conditions. The contractor only gets paid for the work that has been performed. That is imperative, especially in the event we get an audit. If you've paid them for more work than they performed, then the audit can go back 3 years and get that back if it's deemed that they've committed fraud or anything along those lines. So be sure that we're protecting the contractor too, because we don't want to see them have to come back for that either. The contractor gets paid for the initial emergency cleanup. All other cleaning is a part of their adjustment factor. Remember that. So during that, the initial cleanup of the project, it gets paid for through the disaster recovery and the cleaning sessions. So once you get into the standard construction, all cleaning goes right back to the standard JOC contract. That cleaning is a part of their factor. Picking up trash is a part of their factor. Tasks from the disaster recovery section are only for the recovery portion of the job order. Remember that, and all other tasks come for the remainder of the CTC. I mean, these are best practices. If anyone ever needs help with this, please reach out to Gordian. I am always there to help. I have a good background in this type of thing. So I'm always there for everybody. My team is well trained. And if they don't have the answer, they will call me. And if I don't have the answer, I know where to call as well. So just remember, we can get all the answers for you.
Awesome. Lou, thanks so much. And I want to take this opportunity. Well, first of all, we're going to be doing question and answers right after Lou and I talk about this. So guys, start preparing your questions for the panel, or any questions that you might have from your campus. But Lou, I don't know if you remember, but quick case study here. Up at one of our northern universities, I'm not going to say which one, we had an issue where the JOC Immediate Response Contractor was called for an emergency. There was a leak in a building. It was over the holidays. It was kind of brutal on the campus. Well, not naming any names again, but a certain immediate response contractor came in. They did the work, and they did great work, but then they pulled a switcheroo, meaning that they tried to imply that the project did not need to be a JOC immediate response contract, but public contract code said it was okay just to do an emergency response on it. And that that's not what we're going for here, because the immediate response contractor was contacted for our JOC contract specifically. And I want to stress that to you guys, how important that is, because these relationships that we have with the contractors are only because the public contracting code allows us to use JOC, right? So you need to be careful if a contractor comes in and tries to do this switch with you, saying that the contract could actually go under another contracting vehicle. So just please be mindful of that and careful. And Lou, if you want to chip in, I know you know the story too, what happened there.
So, and the other thing, that just a message to the contractor on that is, when you do that, you're risking a cancellation of your contract for cause. Then you can't bid for the CSUs for 5 years. And there are a lot of ramifications of doing that. And it's just
Correct.
Be careful on both sides. That's my advice.
And it's more difficult to really audit it, right? Because that's how Sacramento allows us to do JOC projects, because of the CTC lineups and how easy they are to audit. And hopefully your project doesn't have to go through an audit, but I've met with the audit crew, and they're coming across auditing everything right now. So again, just be aware of your contractor and communicate with them that this is a JOC immediate response contract, and it needs to be through the CTC, and right now through Gordian. So it's time for questions and answers. Oh, it looks like I got a new slide here. My contract analyst actually put in new memes for me. But guys, if you got any questions, please either throw them in the chat right now, or you can unmute yourself and you can start asking. Oh, we got one from Lori Westcott. Let me see. Once a threat is mitigated, if the campus opts to have the contractor restore or the better, does the $752,000 minor cap limit apply? And it does. It absolutely does. So you're still kind of stuck at it being a minor cap. So if it was a major restoration that went over $752,000, you're going to have to use another contracting vehicle on that. So. So from Michelle, so work performed under these contracts are not reported on the annual emergency work report, correct? You actually, they wouldn't be, because we're under a different contracting vehicle. So Michelle, does that answer your question?
They don't need to, because they're competitively procured.
Yeah.
We have to report whenever we take that exemption, because the exemption, we're not getting competitive pricing. So they got to make sure that there's nothing fishy going on, or that's the intent of the transparency, is that we're not direct awarding things and calling them emergency response when they're not. But since this is competitively procured, they don't need to be, and actually probably should not be reported, because they were bid out properly.
Cool.
Awesome. Michelle, thanks for that question. Two great questions. Anybody else got anything good for the panel? Anything for ATI? Anything for pub, guys?
So what's the difference between remediation and reconstruction.
I'll take that one.
All right.
Remediation is when, so if you've got something hot or damaged or asbestos or something like that, that's remediation. Reconstruction is when let's just use the emergency situation. So the building got wet, a water pipe broke, we had to pull out drywall and found mold, or the floor got damaged during it. That would be, replacing that floor would be considered reconstruction.
Yeah, so I guess the point to make there is that the Division 2 line items are typically strictly for the remediation items, and then reconstruction would be everything else. And in some cases, if we were going to remodel that space or potentially do something with it anyways, then you might not immediately roll into reconstruction of the area unless it's, hey, we need to get that space back up and running. But if it's a space that doesn't need to be back up and running, that could be a time to take a pause, do a design, and then potentially use a different contracting vehicle if it's going to become a major cap project. So just something to take into consideration. And then, yes, it is technically possible to use a true emergency contract for just the remediation. So if for some reason somebody on your campus calls a contractor and gets them out there as a true emergency contract and not through the immediate response, get involved as soon as possible to, one, make sure that the costs and quantities are being tracked, because that's the downside of using just an emergency exemption rather than the immediate response, is you'll probably pay a lot more. And even if insurance covers it, we still pay the deductible. So that's always the excuse that the contractors might have as well. It's insurance, so who cares how much it costs? Well, it affects the overall cost of the claim affects our premium, and then it also affects the deductible. And then the other piece is if a contractor's out there doing on an emergency exemption contract, that work needs to stop once the threat to life and property is over, in which case we would need to convert over to either a JOC contract or a normal contract. But a lot of times the contractors will try to keep going with that emergency contract and do the reconstruction. And a lot of times campuses will push that as well, saying, well, it's an emergency if we can't have people in our library. Well, not necessarily. So just keep an eye out for those different lines. And that's the good thing about the immediate response contract, is it allows you to do the emergency work, but then roll into reconstruction if it's limited to minor cap work that's basically putting back in what was damaged with limited design. So any questions about that?
Awesome. Thanks for that, Kevin. So does anybody else have any questions? Of course, if you think of questions later, you can email me and Kevin, or rather Kevin and I, and we can definitely get back to you. Don't hesitate to contact us if you got questions, and don't hesitate to contact ATI if you're in the northern campuses and you've got immediate response, or if you're in the southern and you need a pub, don't hesitate to contact them either. So just taking a look at upcoming JOC Huddle and training. So JOC 101 training is coming to a laptop near you. Lou and I are looking at that right now and hoping to finish that off and send it out to you guys. It'll actually come with a handy dandy little certificate, right, Lou?
That's correct.
Awesome.
That's correct. You'll be able to download it at the completion of the training and put it in your files.
Great. Thanks for that, Lou. Additionally, we got JOC Huddle training number 12 coming up, understanding the CTC and reviewing proposals. I'm gonna amend this one, and we're gonna touch upon DVBEs too, because there's a lot of DVBE questions from you guys this week, and I hope I fielded all of them. And if you have any more questions about DVBE, if I answered your questions this week, let me know. But yeah, I think we're gonna get into we're gonna touch upon the DVBE and JOC Huddle training number 12. So that's coming up on Friday, September 24th at 9 a.m. I'll be sending out the invites probably within the next week or so. This entire presentation, all these slides will be emailed to everybody in the group. And I'll also include a YouTube link where if your coworkers missed it, they can check it out. But thanks to everybody on the panel. Thanks to everybody who attended. Everybody have a great weekend. Thank you.